In this final fifth module, we will look at the role of social responsibility and community development that is expected of a teacher. Under this module, an educational institution operates in the context of the larger education system in the country. In order to be relevant in changing national and global context, an educational institution has to be responsive to the emerging challenges and pressing issues. A teacher has a social responsibility to be proactive in the efforts towards development in the larger context, reflected in terms of the kinds of programs, activities, and preferences that she incorporates within her regular teaching learning process. The extent to which a teacher is impactful in this is a sure reflection of her quality. Every institution has a mandate to be responsive to at least a few pressing issues such as gender equity, environmental consciousness and sustainability, inclusiveness, and professional ethics. But a teacher can evolve unique practices to address these aspects. Two key indicators of criteria 3, which we have already discussed before while discussing the research role of a teacher, becomes relevant here. These are the extension activities and collaboration. And one key indicator of criteria 7, that is institutional values and social responsibilities, also covers this particular aspect of teacher. Now, learning activities have a visible element of developing sensitivities towards community issues, gender disparities, social inequity, etc., and in inculcating values and commitments to society. Affiliation and interaction with groups or individuals who have an interest in the activity of the institution and the ability to influence the actions, decisions, policies, practices of the organization leads to mutual benefit of both the parties. The processes and strategies inherent in these activities relevantly sensitize students to the social issues and contexts. Sustainable practices of the institution lead to generation of knowledge that is useful for the learner as well as the community. Extension is the aspect of education which emphasizes community service. These are often integrated with curricula as extended opportunities intended to help, serve, reflect, and learn. The curriculum extension interface has an educational value, especially in rural India. An individual teacher can be pivotal in promoting extension activities by promoting volunteering for social service program, attending programs and workshops to understand extension methodologies, understanding social needs through survey and involvement. An individual teacher can become aware of the requirement of neighboring societies and conduct programs to address those needs. A teacher can also cope with the needs of the government in societal activities and perform activities to make an impact in the society. A teacher can also cooperate with various clubs and conduct impactful service. To this effect, the teacher performance can be measured through reports of such extension activities, survey reports, financial accounts, feedbacks collected and analyzed, action taken reports, and statements of contribution from alumni and philanthropists. Through collaboration, an institution can maintain a close contact with the work field. The institution collaboration helps keep the academic activities in a more realistic perspective and also expand the scope of learning experiences to students. Collaboration can be sought with academic institutions or industries or other agencies of professional and social relevance. The range of activities could include training, student exchange, faculty exchange, research and resource sharing, among others. For making collaborative endeavor impactful, it is necessary that there is a formal agreement or understanding for such activities. An individual teacher can identify a prosperous area for internship, field trip, or on-job training, can suggest project topics to align with various sectors, agencies, and institutions. A teacher can associate with agencies and industry to conduct research related training. A teacher can collaborate with NGOs to reach out to the society and can make industry academia linkages for training and consultancy. Teacher performance in this area can be measured by looking at copies of those linkages and collaborations, copies of MOUs, report of the activities conducted through collaboration, photographs, feedback, and outcome of the program. Now, every institution organizes gender equity promotion programs. The institution displays sensitivity towards issues like climate change and environmental issues. It adopts environment-friendly practices and takes necessary action such as energy conservation, rainwater harvesting, waste recycling, carbon-neutral green practices, etc. The institution also facilitates the differently abled Divyanjan friendliness, explicit concern for human values and professional ethics, etc. Now, in other words, the concern for social responsibility as well as values held by the institutions are explicit in its regular activities. So, what can a teacher do to this regard? Now, a teacher can organize and participate in programs on promotion of gender equity, climate change, and environmental issues. The teacher can also facilitate the differently abled students. The teacher can exhibit concern for social responsibilities, human values, professional ethics, etc. in activities and programs that he or she organizes. Quality of the teacher will get reflected in the extent of her impact in these areas. Now, the performance of a teacher in this key indicator can be mapped by looking at the reports of social activities linked to outreach, community development, gender equity, environmental issues, ethics, values, etc. The number of field visits that has been conducted by a teacher, teaching in slums, talks, workshops, awareness programs, etc. and the strategies that has been developed by a teacher to address the needs of differently able students and support inclusivity. Now that we have seen all the 5 roles of a teacher and the corresponding NAAC criteria and key indicators that are part of those roles of a teacher, let's see how it translates into percentages and numbers. Let's see what can be the exact contribution of a teacher in terms of the NAAC metric system. Now, if you look at criteria 1, curricular activities, in case of autonomous colleges, out of 150 point, an individual teacher can actually contribute 80%, that is 120 points in this regard. In an affiliated college, for this same criteria, out of 100 marks, a teacher can almost contribute 90%. When we look at criteria 2, teaching, learning and evaluation, in autonomous colleges, a teacher can contribute up to 68% of the total 300 marks, and in affiliated colleges, a teacher can contribute up to 71.4% of marks out of 350 marks that has been allotted. If we look at criteria 3, research, innovation and extension, in autonomous colleges, a teacher can contribute up to 77%, that is 100, and in affiliated colleges, a teacher can contribute a total of 50 marks, that is 100% in this criteria. In terms of criteria 5, student support and progression, In autonomous colleges, a teacher can contribute up to 94% marks out of 150, and in affiliated colleges, a teacher can contribute up to 87.5% marks out of 200. In criteria 6, governance, leadership and management, in autonomous colleges, a teacher can contribute up to 73% of marks out of 100, and in affiliated colleges, a teacher can contribute up to 79% of marks out of 100. Now friends, you might have noticed that criteria 4 did not figure in any of the roles of a teacher that we have discussed till now. Is it that an individual teacher has no role to play in infrastructure and learning resources of an institution? Well, no. Infrastructural development is possible through research grant that an individual teacher receives. A part of that grant can be utilized for the development of, for example, a laboratory in the institution. A teacher can also donate equipments, books, and study material for the library, laboratory, or classroom. A teacher can motivate the alumni to donate for infrastructural development of the college, thereby indirectly contributing to this criteria. And finally, friends, I want to draw your attention to one limitation of this assessment that I have brought to you via these modules and the session. Now, most of the performance measurement that we have discussed till now is carried out in terms of documents, files, reports, minutes of the meeting, basically physical, tangible proofs. However, we must also look at the qualitative contribution made by a teacher and the ways and means to assess the same. Quantitative measurement is definitely an important aspect, specifically within the NAAC assessment criteria, but we must also look in terms of values, morals, ethics, and cognitive development that is brought about by a teacher, which is also extremely relevant and valuable. Having gone through these modules, I am sure that each one of us will reflect on and reassess our functions to make meaningful contribution in quantifiable and measurable terms. From a mere subject expert, each one of us can broaden our horizon to progressively incorporate into our primary job of academics other dimensions such as research, social responsibility, governance and management, and so on. Many of us might not have looked at our roles in the light of these key indicators of the NAAC criteria. We may have thought that a majority of these aspects are to be taken up by the institution at large, and there is nothing that we can do at our individual level. However, with the realization that to each of these key indicators we can make calculable difference, if each one of us is able to rethink and resystematize our work and activities, I will be satisfied to know that my efforts in bringing this assessment to you has been worthy. To teach is to touch a life forever. Let's all learn and grow together. Thank you.